What's going on, guys? Fantasy Joe back here with some more fantasy football content. Today, I am talking about these running back twos and basically the plateau effect that I think is taking place on the running back position and how that affects my draft strategy, how you can crush your draft, what players you can be looking to acquire, and how this applies, if you're doing an auction draft or something like that. If you guys are new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button, win your league, beat all your friends, get the breaking news. You see me when J.K. Dobbins goes down, I post the Gus Edwards videos. When ETN goes down, I post the James Robinson videos. We've got a bunch of fantasy profiles on the channel, bunch of mock drafts, bunch of first round. We have first round rankings. We have wide receiver winners, QB winners, running back winners. My favorite players every position in draft rankings. So you want to dominate your draft, you want to dominate your league with the season long, hit that subscribe button. Anyway, so let's talk about what I mean when I mean these RB2s. I think once we get past Aaron Jones here at this 106, I think there's a big, I'd say Christian McCaffrey's an argument in his tier of his own. Potentially, maybe you put Dalvin Cook in that tier as well. But Derrick Henry, these top six are all very good players. We've seen them dominate fantasy for years. But once we get past that, we start getting into question marks. Saquon, there's questions about the offense in general, as well as his injury. It's looking like he is getting healthier. Nick Chubb, though Kareem Hunt's still there, we worry about the pass catching. But then, yeah, you start to get to the point in the draft where guys like Austin Eckler, I love drafting Austin Eckler because I think he's going to catch 90 passes again this year, get close to 200 carries. Last time we saw him catch 90 passes, he was the RB6 on 132 carries. I love drafting him. But yeah, I think my point is that once you get past that RB6, I think a lot of these guys get in this nebulous range where really they're not as dissimilar from each other as we think, or they might appear in average draft position. I think guys like Najee Harris, Eckler, Antonio Gibson, Joe Mixon, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Chris Carson, James Robinson, Darrell Henderson, all these guys I love drafting, and I think they have a bunch of upside. I think you can get these guys in the second, third rounds of your drafts. So don't be afraid to take that wide receiver. If Devontae Adams is the best player available in the first round, take him. Snag, I know your first round, snag at Najee Harris at the beginning of the second or something like that. Don't be afraid of these running backs just because they aren't first round picks. I like to go running back early, but I do think that there are a lot of these guys that are very similar to each other once you get past around, pick 6, and then maybe 6 to 11 there's another tier. But then after that, I think there's a bunch of guys that are very, very similar to each other. And I love drafting them. Like, I think Antonio Gibson, he has a chance to get the passing game work, and he was already an RB1 last year. Joe Mixon should get 300 carries on the ground this year, as well as getting that third down work in Cincinnati. Clyde Edwards-Helaire could get 300 touches in the Kansas City offense. Chris Carson, Seattle's going up tempo this year, and they're supposedly going for a much more run heavy approach. David Montgomery was RB4 last year. James Robinson was the RB7, I believe, and is going to get a ton of volume in Jacksonville. And their offense should be a lot better. Darrell Henderson could be the starting running back, or should be the starting running back, and get the Lions' share of the work. I just think that a lot of these RB2s are very similar to each other. And then how this affects my strategy if I'm in an auction draft is I'm probably going to try to snag one of these 6 guys if I can make it work dollar-wise. I'm going to try to get the best value. I'm probably going to try to heavily target either Christian McCaffrey, Dalvin Cook, Zeke Elliott, Aaron Jones out of those 4. And then I'm going to try to snag as well with 2 of, maybe a Najee Harris, a Clyde Edwards-Helaire, or I did this the other day, Joe Mixon, Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Do something like that. Antonio Gibson, Najee Harris, Austin Eckler, Antonio Gibson, something like that. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, James Robinson. A combo like that is how I'm going to try to get that team going. And that's how I would like to, start my team in auction draft, get those 3 stud running backs, and I can fill in, I don't mind drafting or spending on Robbie Anderson, Jerry Jeudy, Brandon Ayuk, guys like that. Our receivers I love to target. I think you can still get really good value out of them. Guys that could actually take that leap into dominant receivers as well. And so, yeah, that's the way I like building my teams. I just wanted to talk about those RB2s and how I think they're a lot more similar to each other than people think they are. If you guys have enjoyed this video, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comment section down below. This has been Fantasy Joe. Thank you guys for watching.